Hey everyone. Testing one. Testing testing one. Want to see if my live streams still work here and just wanted to hang out. Big change on the farm with Stacy passing away this past week. And yeah, just looking forward to catching up with anybody and saying hi. Got some concerns too. The way things are going already, it's, when it rains, it pours. And me and my wife were worried about Murray, considering how bonded Murray is with Stacy, and when one bonded dog passes away, chances are the second dog isn't too far behind. So that's a little heartbreaking. Today on the walk, it was Murray is he's not hopping as much, and he was always hopping when he was happy. And just getting him to stand was pretty hard thing to do. But other than that, yeah, if you're out there and you wanted to say hi, feel free. Even though Stacy was a quiet gal, she took up a lot of space, and it's noticeable now that she's gone. We really do miss her a lot. Other than that, everyone else seems to be doing all right here. You can see Sweetheart right there, Miss Mama napping away. And thank you for all your messages of support. It's really appreciated. We've really enjoyed reading all of them. And yeah, it's just wild how quickly this can go when a pet dog passes away, or when a dog is old and sick. And it's like, I guess that's a lesson that I have for anybody with an old animal is watch out. It'll happen at a moment's notice. Hey, Granny, how are you? And yeah, her kidney, in a matter of 2 days, her kidneys stopped functioning. She stopped eating, and then the mast cell on her chest burst, and she was bleeding nonstop the last 24 hours. Thanks, Granny. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I walked her around the farm the final day. Lexi even came out onto the catio. It's like she even knew something was wrong. I mean, I was expecting it, but I wasn't expecting it. If you know what I'm saying. And it really happens quick when it does happen. I thought, in my mind, I was hoping we could go a full year without having to have a dog pass away. I was just saying, Granny, how it's already, my wife was saying, watch out with bonded animals. When one passes away, the other one's going to pass away. And this morning on our walk, Murray's just been, he's been a little bit more skittish, and he isn't walking as much. And it's getting harder for him to walk. I've been giving him a lot of extra love, and been really petting him a lot and giving him extra treats, and really trying to do that. But we thought we'd had enough dogs here to absorb. Thanks. Christopher, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Sorry, my nose is itchy today. But yeah, we're worried about Murray now too. He just seems to not. He definitely knows. He notices now. He knows his girl's gone. The first couple of days he was just sort of like confused, and now he's just sort of I don't know, less energy, I guess is the word. Um, he is grieving. Hey Nancy, thanks so much. We appreciate you. But yeah, when it happens quick, everyone, especially with old timers. And kind of worried, but hopefully that Murray will swing back around and become happy. We don't want long suffering, and Stacy was on her chemo treatments for at least 3 or 4 months. We thought we were doing really well with it, and once we really got down to it, and when I was holding her, I held her when we put her to sleep like a baby, and that was a new experience for me. It was really an intense thing. I didn't even realize that you actually hold your dog while they put him to sleep, and I was feeling her, and you could just tell she had lumps all over her body at this point. Yeah, Christopher, your message was really nice. Thank you. And yeah, there's a great community of people here. Um, I thought this would get easier as time went on doing this. I guess it's not. It's just getting harder. Initially, I thought I could just adopt animals and help deal with the pain of my initial pack of dogs dying off, and as you start to catch up with me, I realize more and more it's not. It's just getting harder. My wife's fully behind us, what we're doing. She loves what we're doing, and she's, I guess, just used to years and years of working in an emergency animal field and just seeing dogs die night in and night out, and I'm still not used to it. And I thought this would be a way to toughen up, I guess, or be able to deal with an animal dying. But when they're with you so much, they become a part of you, I guess. So, but I do appreciate you guys, and I do love making videos of the farm, and I do love being able to go back and watch videos of these sweethearts. Someone commented on an old video of my dog Miss Violet the other day, and I went back and watched the video of Miss Violet, and it was one of her last walks when she was hiding underneath the porch because she thought she was in trouble because she was in pain, and I was so terrified because I kept knowing that I kept wondering, like, am I going to fish my dog out from under this porch when she passes away? And I was asking for her, and I called her, and the sweetheart came out, and she was happy and wagging. We went on a little walk, and I remember the feeling of relief when she came out. I remember a couple days later, I was talking to someone on the phone, and I was telling them about the problem, and they were like, "Oh, there's this Chinese herb no one tells you about that helps fix that." And I said, "What's this Chinese herb?" And I found it in town, and I raced out to go get it. When I came back, she was dead. She passed away, and it brought back just a lot of tough memories. I'm not going to say it was bad. There were bad memories. They're just tough memories of dealing with that. I've got 13 years of great memories of Miss Violet. Thanks. It's like I said, I just I don't see it getting easier, but I know it's not supposed to be. But I thought maybe in my brain, like, the repetition of it all would make it easier. And if anything, the only thing that's getting easier is adopting new dogs. That's easier because it's always fun to see who the new animal is, and the new personality, and how they're going to react at the farm, and how cute they're going to look, and all that stuff. And that's that's the easy part. And yeah, I just part of me doesn't want it to be easier, but another part of me does. And seems to be the thing with pets and animals, is it's like a perfect um dichotomy, I guess, of doing what's right for the animal and doing what's right for yourself. And when it comes down to death, it's a hard line, because you always just want life. You want the dog or the cat or any animal to just live. And you know the that's just not going to be the case. And I'm just glad, in Stacy's case, it did happen quick, and she wasn't in pain for a long time. At least not any pain that I found noticeable. Her tail was still wagging. She was still eating fairly well. So, I guess, I came on to just talk about what happened, and just say Murray's asleep. Murray's Murray's still very much Murray, but he just it took me 10 minutes to get him to want to walk this morning. And I've never had to do that. Um, his back legs are just, I mean, if you can say he's grieving, but at the same time, I mean, this is dementia, you know. Eventually his back legs are just going to be done. He's still very strong, and he still seems happy. But I think my wife's right, though. It's not going to be a long time. I agree. I agree. It's the one sure thing that I can offer out here, and is a peaceful life. And I feel like at the bare minimum after I lost my pack, um, and was just swimming in debt, that I felt like this is my way of paying back dogs, paying back to the universe, and just bring in old timers and let them realize the beauty and love of the farm, and I felt like it was my piece that I could offer out, and and then I was filming them because I didn't want just like an old picture or two. I wanted video of like them walking their last days so I could always go back and watch it. And then I wanted to share it. I wanted people to see how amazing these dogs are. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Granny. And it seems like a lot of stuff's changing around here. My neighbors with the goats and the donkeys, they want to get rid of all their animals. They only had them because their daughters and their daughters now are moving out for college, and they even offered them to me, and I was just like, I just don't have the money or the capability to take on the donkeys and the chickens and the rooster. It's like they were just, "Here, have them if you want them." And hopefully I gave them the idea of asking my other neighbor who has Sassy, who's all alone, so hopefully that Sassy could have some company and hang out with the goats, or the hang out with the donkeys at least. And yeah, so in August, that's gonna end. Hopefully they just change their mind, and and yeah, because honestly, it would be the best for Sassy, is if she could have some goat friends and and the donkeys too. Sassy did have a goat as a friend, and the goat died, and that's why Sassy's all alone now. And and yeah, so it's we've got old animals everywhere around here, and a lot of stuff changes. Yeah, well, my neighbor that has Sassy is just he's an older dude, and I think he's just running out of gas as far as that's concerned. He's got 3 barns on that property. It's 25 acres, so, and his son is moving back in. Um, he's been working on this entire, like, gazebo house, and converting it over for him. Yeah, I talk to Sassy's owner occasionally. We're actually really, really cool neighbors. I really like him a lot. He he's a good guy. Um, and it makes sense. He's had animals out there, and it seems like a lot of people out here are just doing this for their kids, so their kids can have farm animals and stuff like that. And I mean, it's hobby farming. It's not no, they're no one's doing this to like you know create meat, or to do work, or it's just animals enjoying the land and looking beautiful. Also, but he's out of that small cage. I appreciate you giving. Thanks, Christopher. Well, I appreciate the nice message. Yeah, thank you for freeing him. I mean, that's a bummer. That is one of the things I thought too, was just this could be a fun channel for people who are, like, stuck in cities and have their animals in apartments and kennels all day while they're at work, you know, like, and then lo oh god, get ready for the loudest buzzer in the world and longest. Sorry. Yeah, dry this one dryer that I bought a dryer and it has got the longest and loudest buzzer in the history of buzzers. In fact, I don't even think that was the main buzzer. I think that was the early buzzer. And we even looked it up online. There's nothing but just um, people like making entries on how to disable the buzzer because there's no switch or button. Yeah, Mama doesn't. Ma, not much gets to Mama. She usually sleeps on like one of those pillows and reclines back like a queen. And I didn't do much sleeping last night, and so I took a little nap there. And she's laying out on my body heat. And yeah, it's fun. Mama up. Amazing. But yeah, Mama's an intense napping dog. She loves cuddling, and same thing with Bernie. Bernie's just a little sausage. He will that dog will sleep with you for hours. Um, we do not let him in the bedroom though, because we know that he's just gonna pee. He's gonna eventually just pee on the mattress. uh, we have trained him pretty well. We're not cleaning up too many of his pees anymore. Uh, but uh, but he is a great cuddler. Holy cow! He gets an A. Sorry, I'm just trying to weed through the cords. Oh wait, I can go right here. No, that doesn't work. We got someone gave us that sweet little. That's a sweet little cat hangout for Lexi. We've been bringing her out more, and yeah, there's old man and Mama right there. There's old man Murray, and he's definitely grieving, as Granny said. That's 100% correct. Um, but at the same time, I feel like part of him is shutting down. And yeah, that's a good boy. I hope so. He really is a loved dog by the pack. Mama loves him. A lot of times when Murray blanks out, she'll run to him so he sees her and tries to lure her back to the pack. And and you can just tell. And Saphira, she's kind of an ice queen a little bit, but you can tell she loves him. These dogs all get along, and especially with Murray. So, if my estimates are correct, we've had Mama and Safira for almost 2 years now. I adopted Murray and Stacy last August. And then Bernie came in a couple weeks after that. So he might be August, September. Yeah, initially, 2 years ago, we got Mama Safira and Matcha, and they were a bonded trio. And then poor sweet Matcha passed away. His pancreas burst or something, or his gallbladder burst. And he was a cute dog. God, I love that dog too. He was such a cool, sweet dog. He had the one eye. He had intense blue eyes, and one of them had to get taken out. And yeah, I mean, then we got Pickles. Pickles came in after that. He was only around for a few months, and he had a strangulated larynx that ended up being his fate. He was a sweetheart. And yeah, it's I guess we have room for one more now. It might in the next week or so start trying to figure out who we're going to get. Pickles, I know. Pickles was a channel favorite. So many people love Pickles. And yeah, I'm going to start talking to once I feel better about it. Because we've decided, we've got room for five small dogs. Yeah, we'll go see if Old Friends has another one for us. There are some Jack Russell mixes out there, and I think having a Jack Russell ish dog would be a great way to honor Stacy. They have like 3 or 4 of them, and but it's always up to Old Friends too. They know the temperament of their animals much better than I do, so I like to default to them, to their expertise on the matter. But yeah, I mean, well, here's one of the things that here's one of the beautiful things about bringing in Bernie, is that Bernie, and this is from Murray, the person that oversaw Murray and Bernie. I think they were there for a couple of years at Old Friends. Bernie and Murray are best friends, and she was really happy once she heard that I was coming for Bernie, because she knew that was going to be a perfect match for them, because they are absolutely best friends. And yeah, I can see it now. Like this morning, I'm up on a hill, and I've literally spent 30 minutes trying to get Murray to go from the back door to right up the hill by the greenhouse. Something that if I walked it slowly would take 30 seconds. And his back legs just didn't want to work. Bernie was there next to him the whole time. And it was good to see. It was really good to see. And yeah, it's like, and of course, Mama and Safira are just kind of running off doing their own thing because they're all excited. But Mama does try to hurt him a little bit, but you can just tell like Murray would get lonely very quickly. So yeah, this is hard. Doing this is hard. It's an absolute joy, but it is hard. But I've got plenty of dogs to pet, so that's always a good. That's always at least the good benefit of what I'm doing. So thanks a lot to everyone for your well wishes and support. I appreciate it, and I am trying to go easy on myself. I'm I I mean, I've created this mechanism. I may as well run it. If the result is that old dogs get a chance at freedom and to be dogs, because I have a feeling a lot of these dogs were not ever really given the opportunity to go and run in nature and be dogs. And I feel like that's nothing but a good thing to be able to do that for these animals, and it's going to add years to their life. At least that's what I like to tell myself. Whether I'm crazy or not, I don't know. Thanks. And and I do. And I think the one of it's just weird how it affects you in your day-to-day stuff. Like, I mean, I used to think like, "Oh my god, all these dogs are on so many meds," and then Stacy passes away and I realized like, "Oh, she was on probably 80% of the meds." So I was used to dispersing so many medications, and now I realize like a lot of them were for her. And it's always interesting to see the resets, and like Mary made up this awesome little like medication station right near their food for me, and made this awesome chart for me to follow. And one of the bins is still labeled pickles, and that just became Bernie's. And it's just stuff like that where you're just like little daily reminders of of stuff. I don't know. If I'm crazy. Well, thank you. I'll keep going then. I won't stop. Um, mean, I don't want to seem like I'm like trying to get attention here, seek attention. I don't really feel like I want it. If that's the case, um, I think I would. I've said this from the start. As I would be doing this if there was only 10 people watching. Great. That's awesome. Thanks. Let me straighten this out. I feel like I'm crooked. The crazy train. If it's a crazy train, it's a train I want to be on. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess also too, my message would be to anybody that can get out there and do it. Um, Adopt an old animal, adopt an old pet or a cat, adopt an old cat or a dog. They need it, and it's. I would rather have an old dog than a puppy, to tell you the truth. Um, People really seem to be inspired by the puppy energy, but I got to tell you, I'd rather just have an old dog that's just chill. And I'd rather have mama who comes out to the farm and just melts and becomes the perfect dog, and is all chill, and it's I've I mean, I've had really well-behaved, cool dogs in the past, but I honestly feel like she's my lassie. I can just talk to her and she just knows what's up and listens and does things. And I don't know if it picks up on the videos, but I literally can call her from across the farm and she'll just come running. And um, hey, Will, welcome aboard. And the thing is if you bring Mama to old friends, her nerves go crazy, and she you can just tell she hates it there. She absolutely hates it. It's prison. And that none of it took a while for them to actually believe. Maybe it took them watching some of the videos too. The folks at Old Friends are fans of the channel, and they watch videos here periodically, and they especially the people that like used to take care of the dogs, they like to check in on the dogs and see how everyone's doing. And they can't believe Mama is so well behaved, and that I describe her as the perfect dog. And I took her off her behavioral meds and her doggy Prozac because I just didn't feel like she needed it. So it's like I feel like being able to create that is, oh, look at that, Queen is stretching out. I feel like while I'm doing this, I'm just staring at her. The environment is huge. I feel like I am adding days to their life. Yeah, and but at the same time, part of me is like, if I had noticed like her mast cell growth a week sooner, right? It grew those tumors grow so quick. If I had known it, if I had noticed it a week sooner, maybe Stacy would still be around and stuff like that. I'd beat myself up for stuff like that. Oh, she's gonna get on her pillow, I bet. That's where she usually sleeps. I'm not beating myself up, but I do. Part of me wishes that like I knew how to be better at end of life care for animals, and about Mary is always very conscious of that stuff. Thanks, Will. She was such a beautiful, delicate dog. She reminded me a lot of Miss Violet, where she was just this very graceful and gentle, cautious animal, but just absolute, just happy little like tail wagging lover at the same time. And yeah, it hit hard, and I got to hold her like this and rub her belly while she was put to sleep, and it was an insanely moving experience for me. I didn't even realize that was an option. Hey Pinky, how you doing? And I think that's something that's going to change me forever. There we go. That's a better shot. Get our old man in there. Get my old plate out of the shot. Hey Pinky, thanks a lot. Love you too. And I've also noticed that I've got sunburn from welding yesterday. Oh, isn't it wild how welding will give you a sunburn? Yeah, I know. Welding's no joke. It'll mess your body up. So my mower deck for my riding lawnmower, um, I don't know if this is gonna get too obscure. My mower deck, it basically there's where the grass shoots out of the hole, there's usually a hole. So like you got a mower deck and then on the side there's kind of this hole. And usually there's like a bar that connects that. And that does that to keep it reinforced. And that bar, my bar ripped out of there months ago and I just kept going. And a few days ago I hit a stump and it pushed the whole mower deck right into the blade, and it's starting dead and it's rattling and all angry and evil. And so I fabricated a bar and had to cut out the bent out piece and then hammer it out and then re-weld it, and then I made a reinforcing rod out of some scrap that I had. And it was actually kind of a fun project. I've got a little bit more to do on it because now that I'm in it, I'm just fixing up the whole thing, and hopefully it'll be a good mower again. It was actually cutting like crap. So yeah, I was just fixing the lawnmower. It's part of this property is owning a farm. If there's two things I can recommend everybody learn, it's small engine repair. And a lot of small engine repairs is learning how to take care of small engines, and then learn how to weld. And yeah, I also learned an interesting mixture for growing an organic method for plant pest control and fertilizer this week. And I've been or no 2 weeks ago, and I'm on my second week of using it, and they claim that it'll bring back, it'll help repair plants and it'll make them grow like crazy. And it's pretty wild. And it's for every gallon of warm water you put in a cup of whole milk, a tablespoon of turmeric, and a teaspoon and a half of Castile soap. And then you can mix that up and pour it all over leaves as a protectant from pests. And then you can also use it as a soil soak for fertilization and for just good plant and soil health. You're trying to learn some basic electrical engineering. Well, I'm not too sure if what I was talking about was electrical engineering, but turmeric, Castile soap, and milk, whole milk, and then you add that to warm water. So it's a cup of whole milk, a tablespoon of turmeric, and a teaspoon of Castile soap. Yeah, and once you think about it, it creates that bacillus. Can never say it. Lab. It creates basically what Korean natural farming is all based on, which is just it'll flood the biome with good lactic acid. Lactic acid bacillus. Can never say it. It's like a Latin word. And then what? I poured pickle juice on my plant in my room out of curiosity, and then I bet your plant died. Did your plant die? Huh. Well, the moldiness means that it's not draining enough. Yeah, mold always means that it's not draining enough. MCO from China, from Nanjing, China. How you doing, buddy? Oh well, I mean, a vine climbing everywhere is is thriving, but yeah, you need to change that out. I mean, algae sometimes is fine, but mold is not. A plant will usually never do too well with a moldy pot. And if you have soil, vermiculite is is good for wet soil. The corgi police dog in China. Hold on, I'll share it up. Hopefully, there's no music that'll nab me for a copyright strike. So corgis, I've always been told that corgis were the real cattle dogs. Like they weren't using shepherds. They were using corgis back in the day of the cattle drives because they were such good cattle dogs. And I've seen more than one corgi farm dog, and I got to tell you, they're kind of made for farms, and they can run underneath the animals a lot quicker when they're herding them. And yeah, I remember a good buddy of mine had a corgi on his farm. That was his main dog, and his name was Shorty. And Shorty was an absolute sweetheart, and just like Fusai. No, they're insane. They have, at least the ones that I've known, are very very well behaved and very driven, and they will goad you into petting them, and then the second you bend over to pet them, they'll roll on their back so you pet their belly. Like, they don't want to be patting the top of the head. They know what feels best, and they want that belly rubbed. And yeah, so it's my buddy, he actually he was on American Pickers. They went out to his farm and I was helping him build an outbuilding, and so I was out there for probably about 4 or 5 days, and They had like this little pack of local farm dogs, and Shorty and his buddies would appear every morning between like 10 and 10:15. And he just my friend was like, "There's my dog Shorty," and he just runs around the neighborhood, meaning like just this area of a lot of farms. And eventually across the street from where my friend lived, was a local judge, a lawyer, like a prominent lawyer and well-known like local judge. And they fell in love with Shorty so much that Shorty started sleeping in their bed. And I mean, we have a judge of 40 years that couldn't resist a corgi. And corgis were also the Queen of England's favorite dog. The one that passed away. Yeah, American Pickers, man. I did a few projects for them. I think that show was on for 20 seasons. Yeah, corgis are like, I know some people have issues with them, and I think my wife even was like not really a big fan of them, but that was just from working in the ER with them, and I think it's just because they're too smart. Because a lot of the veterinary medical care is just tricking the animal so you can do stuff, and corgis don't really play. You got the IDK, the ick. Oh, sorry. You got the sushi ick. Sounds like you're having a bad piece of sushi. I mean, you're in Florida. I assume all your sushi's top notch. That's some classic stuff. I mean, why is it ick? I get ick from cold avocado. I like avocado when it's like room temperature. I mean, you guys, come on. You don't like guacamole? You're honestly not guac, not anything? Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. I mean, to each is to their own, but what happened? Who hurt you? What avocado hurt you guys? It's okay. Show me where the avocado hurt you. I mean, down in Florida, they've got avocado. I mean, a friend of mine had an avocado tree. And just go out and pick avocados and make guacamole. And what's weird is how expensive olive oil is getting, and the avocado oil is actually a lot cheaper than olive oil at this point. You hate the big avocados? Why are they not as flavorful? I've always told they were more flavor. Like there's this yeah, yeah. So but aren't they more flavorful? Because it's like I've always found that those Hass avocados don't have flavor. It's like tofu. They only taste like what you put on them. Yeah, the big avocados actually have a flavor. It's kind of like a fruitiness almost. I know that it's like tofu, man, or it's like tofu where it tastes more of like what at least the avocados that we normally get around here. It's just more of like a creamy texture that it adds to stuff. The taste is usually what you put on it. Um, except for there's these big ones that grow on trees in Florida where Pinky lives, and she says she doesn't like them because of the taste. And yeah, bad avocado is a bad time. I don't doubt any of that. Yeah, it's and sure, tofu has a natural flavor, but it's very inert. It's very minor. So the trick to um, guacamole not turning gray is to take the seed and put it in the avocado or put it in the guacamole, and that keeps it from oxidizing. But yeah, there's this Mexican dish that me and my wife got into for a little bit, and it's guacamole casero, which is like if you go to a Mexican restaurant and you see like guacamole and then guacamole casero, that just means homemade guacamole. Casero is Spanish for homemade, and or else I could say guacamole al mano, handmade al mano by hand, and but guacamole casero is uh you know, it's that's you're gonna get like someone actually chopping up avocados and onions and stuff like that and lime juice and but this is guacamole casero con camarones and it was $16. It was super expensive, but it's like a meal and comes out in a bowl like this big and it's just guacamole, homemade guacamole with just shrimp all over it. And you eat that with chips and then you put salsa on it and something about guacamole and shrimp that we really got the bug for that dish twice, and we would just get that and a couple tacos, and we were just jam-packed full. Oh, so you just like no raw onion or tomato? You don't put any hot pepper in there? Don't chop up some jalapeno or some serrano and get that going? Yeah, I mean, guacamole, I could see that masking flavor. Sure. That's why I personally think guacamole needs to be made with the hottest peppers possible too. Because I've made guacamole for I've spent like $35 making homemade guacamole for parties, and then it'll literally get eaten in 10 minutes. And you know, you're just like, what happened? And so I started using like habanero and just loading it down with a ton of habanero peppers. So like you know, you're getting a chip and guacamole, and you're getting a nice burn for a minute and a half. Fresh lime will always make there. And you wait, you lived in Mexico and played ice hockey there? That's a that is you know, I don't see how we can just gloss past that. Was it a semi-pro thing or a pro thing? That's such a oh, look at this guy, he's dreaming. Well, he was for a second there. Just for fun. Well, do you were in Guadalajara? Living in Guadalajara, near Guadalajara? That's so great. God, the food there. Holy cow, must have been so much fun. Zatiki, yeah. You can get that cucumber and squeeze it out, squeeze all the juice out of it, and then add the yogurt and the mint and dill and what else is in there? Oh, there's a ton of lemon juice, I believe. I haven't made Zatiki in forever, but oh, it's so good when you make it yourself. Yeah, I would miss just like going for tacos, man. Guadalajara, I believe, is on the water too, so it's gonna be a lot of seafood. The Harry Potter candy cart. Wow. Yeah, I love Zatiki. I go get a gyro. Around here, everyone wants ranch. It's like, you wanna see a messed up situation, watch a Southern person order a gyro. You're gonna have to, like, reevaluate just life in general. I have seen the weirdest orders. Standing behind people waiting to place my order for euros, and it's literally like, cover that with shredded cheddar cheese, ranch dressing. Okay, now put more meat on it. Now some cheddar cheese, and then more ranch, and then you're just like, oh my god, and then like, oh, I don't want a pita. It's just, and then fries, and you're just sort of like, okay, kind of missing the point of getting a euro, but I go for it. Oh, Pinky, well, you gotta be nice to yourself and stretch that back out. You do some stretches and keep trying to bend it and work on your mobility in any way you can without causing too much pain. Anything can cause a bad back. Honestly, I'm anti-ranch. I mean, if you're gonna have a salad, that's cool, but as far as just like wings, no. You know, you need to be having blue cheese if you're having buffalo wings. I mean, that's how that recipe was written. And it's like, a ranch sure ain't going on my gyro. But, I'm not gonna fault anybody for it, but it just seems like ranch is creeping in everywhere, like slowly but surely. And, sooner or later we're just gonna get sprayed with the ranch hose, the proverbial Homer Simpson ranch hose. Hefe, the boss. That's a great name for a cat. See, there's this garlic sauce. If you ever go get Donner kebabs, they'll have it, and it's basically garlic mayonnaise, but there's no eggs. It's just oil and garlic and salt, pepper, and lemon juice. Actually, it's not even pepper; it's just salt, and it's called Twom, Toum, and it's a Lebanese recipe. And Twom is earth-shatteringly good. It's such a good, like, dip and sauce, and it it's just oily and it's garlicky, and you have to you have to take out the shoot of each garlic clove. Like, if you smash a clove of garlic, it'll have a little shoot in it sometimes. Most of the time, that's what makes garlic bitter, and so you have to take all those out. And so yeah, it's like, I think if I remember the recipe correctly, it's like a quarter cup of garlic cloves with the shoot removed, and then like 2 cups of oil, and like a lot of times you're using olive oil or a neutral oil, and you would make that like an emulsification, just like how you'd make mayonnaise, and it just turns into this white fluffy cloud, and it is so good. it's it's so good. And I mean, you spread that on like toast, or even put that on bread and then cook it like garlic bread, and it's like a fresh garlic bread spread. And yeah, they'll put that stuff on doner kebabs and all sorts of other stuff, and it makes things like just delicious. Oh man, they're homemade blue cheese, yum. And to be fair, I have enjoyed ranch when it's like someone's actually making it. It's just there's something about like just buttermilk, or at least like the weird manufactured buttermilk flavoring that they use. You're learning how to cook mushrooms? I mean, that's pretty cool. It's there's an old recording of like a commercial with Vincent Price um teaching you how to make mushrooms. And it's like a commercial, like a minute and a half long commercial from the radio days. And so he's all like spooky teaching you how to make mushrooms. Dehydrated snow fungus. Wow. That sounds fascinating. I've always been taught that the only way to cook mushrooms are in a pan, a hot pan. You never get the mushrooms wet. You only brush them off and get that media, any sort of dirt or media off of them. Um, Hot pan with a little bit of butter. If you want to get all French about it, you would then deglaze with a little bit of liqueur or like stock, but only for a quick second. Or if you're going to do it Asian style, you end up deglazing it with a little bit of soy sauce, Chinese vinegar, soy sauce, or else just Chinese cooking wine. And that's like really quick at the end, one last quick second. But um, a lot of times people will put mushrooms in a pan that's not hot enough, and all it does is cook all the water out of the mushroom, and you don't want to do that. You want to just very fast, quick sear. Oh yeah, mushroom soup. What was the mushroom soup called? One of my favorite things with mushrooms, I like to make stuffed portobello mushrooms. That's always delicious. And another thing I love to do is it's it's like a French dish, and it's really simple. It's mushrooms on toast, and a mushroom burger. Yeah, I bet. But yeah, it's it mushroom points on toast, and it's just like mushroom sautéed pretty much how I described, but then you add a little bit of cream at the end of it, and a little bit of well, the butter is used to begin the sauté, and you add a little bit of cream and parsley, and it's basically just salt, pepper, mushrooms, cream, parsley, a little bit of butter, and then you just put it on buttered toast and eat it, and it's freaking amazing. And that was a classic like Gordon Ramsay recipe. Um, so I would recommend, if you ever wanted to do that and just blow your mind with like literally 5 ingredients, I recommend doing that. I made some lentils last night. I put some lentils in a dish I was making. Um, I like lentils. I actually made soybeans from scratch recently, and made them, and it was interesting because they ended up being, low carb beans. But yeah, lentils add a great natural flavor to stuff that's kind of addicting. And if you ask me, I love lentils. Huh. The lentils are still hard, and that ain't good. A lentil is similar to a mung bean, Mco. Thanks, Granny. You really were a help today. I appreciate you. And yeah, hugs to Murray forever. He needs them. Yeah, you can replace soybeans in a bean recipe. You can indeed. Like I pureed, I cooked them in some stock. I soaked them, for 24 hours, cooked them in stock, and then pureed them. And they are they are darn near the same as beans. Oh yeah, mung bean noodles. Those are I've had those before. Those are really good. Gosh, I can't believe how burnt I am from freaking welding. Look at that. This is after I'm wearing a mask too. Yeah, Chinese MCO. Suddenly I feel like my food knowledge is very limited. No, it's just you've got different we have different names for the same thing. But yeah, I would say the standard Chinese diet is way more diverse than the standard American diet. Like some of those recipes you were telling me about the other a couple weeks back, those were amazing. Those are so good. Pinky, if you go to most Chinese restaurants and ask them for the Chinese menu, they'll usually give it to you, but it's in Chinese. You have to use the Google Lens to translate it. Americans, I don't no, not too many Americans would eat chicken feet. Yeah, I mean, if the people are friendly and they're not too busy, I'm sure they would gladly show you the real menu. You like the chicken feet? Well, all right then. Grando Mastery. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. Everyone say hi to Grando Mastery. The French pig trotter recipe. So what have you guys had for lunch? Well, it's just noon now, but I had a late breakfast and I had leftovers from last night. And I'm not the best person because I think a lot of people would just tell you I had a hamburger. but but I found this Romanian dish, and it's basically like where you take just like meat and vegetables and stuff, and make like a filling, and then you take a dough and roll it out. You put the filling in there, and then you roll it up, and then cut it. And we have like a treat or a dessert here called a cinnamon roll, and it's like a savory cinnamon roll, and you put them in a dish face up, and then they expand out. So it's like these rolled savory rolls. And to a lot of people here in America, they would see it and think, "Oh, it's a cinnamon roll," but it's not. It's has like meat and cheese in it. Uh-oh. This guy just got up. So whenever Murray gets up, I got to make sure to kind of wrangle him to the door, or else he will pee and poop right on the floor. Um okay, hold on everyone. Hey buddy. You're a good boy. How you doing? Yeah, you had a good nap. Come on. Nope, nope. Come this way. Nope, nope. Come this way. Come on. Good boy. Wow, what a nice thing to say, Grando. I'm just gonna call you Grando if you don't mind, or Grand. Um, we really appreciate it. We've just had a pretty tragic loss here. We lost one of our sweetheart dogs, and um, so it's been a tough week. And but honestly, the messages I get from so many people, uh, I really do appreciate, and I can't overlook your part in this whole thing too. Um, I feel like I'm helping the world in a weird way with this channel and like trying to create some form of positivity online. And yeah, and Mr. Murray is he's an absolute sweetheart. He's such a sweet dog. I mean, other than just coming home to random poops and pees on the floor and then waking up to that too, because he'll start pacing at like probably about an hour before I get up. That's it. I mean, other than that, he's such a nice dog. I just hope I just hope his mobility returns, because it's been a really rough week with him, trying to get him to like motivate and walk. And like you turn around and he's just on the ground, and it's like he's forgetting how to use his back legs. Thanks, Emco. She was such a sweetheart. And honestly, I'm probably going to try to get another Jack Russell to replace her. Um, I was looking, and an old friends has a couple, and thanks, Pinky. I love them too, and I absolutely love Lexi. I feel like I hope she'll live forever. I know things are gonna not be the best for her. She is 18, but um, she's irreplaceable. She's truly a one of a kind. Thanks. I'm trying to honestly, true too is they do stuff for me too. I'm not gonna sit here and say like it's a one-sided thing and I'm doing all this for them. They do more than enough for me. Um, they get me to appreciate this property. They get me to appreciate them. It's a symbiotic nature we got here, where um I spend all day thinking about you know going on the walks with them and getting me out to go walk around my property and take a look at the land, and to share it with them. I'm truly am sharing it. The same time, they're adding the color to the landscape. Let's put it that way, because I go out and I look at it and I see work and I see things that I need to do, but instead I see sweet, lovable animals enjoying it, and that gives back to me as well. And I see them running to the door when it's time to go for the walk, and they're all excited and happy. And I also see them all excited running back in, knowing that they get to just lay about and um, just do their own thing. But so yeah, I truly appreciate the nice words, but at the same time, these guys, uh, they're giving back to me. And yeah, I couldn't think of a better use of my time I mean, when I think about just all the stupid, meaningless stuff people could waste their time on, like taxes or, you know, things that just don't matter at all. It's just kind of funny what you could do to just create a good, healthy, relationship with nature, with animals, with each other, as opposed to living in this just false reality where you're just trying to like create some sense of well-being in your head when it wasn't there to begin with. Let me get a look at Mr. Pacer. Hopefully he used the bathroom outside. Sometimes it breaks my heart too when he starts just pacing around. He likes to walk to the right, which is another sign of dementia, and we keep trying to redirect him back at least onto his pad so he can like lay back down. Hey buddy, come on over. Come on over. Okay, come on. Murray. Come on. His eyes are heartbreaking. He's got such great eyes. No, don't go that way. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, buddy. Thank you. Come on over here. Oop. There you go. There you go. I love that dog so much. It's going to break my heart. I hope he doesn't pass away. I hope we can prove everyone wrong about this. Right, Mama? How's that? That make you happy? Sorry. He gets food snuck to his nose. Too many people like that in society. Yeah. And at the same time, I feel very lucky to be able to even have this perspective, or to be able to even like live in the type of environment I live in. I've really moved into a place, years ahead of time. And right now, the city is trying to quadruple the value of my farm, and almost trying to price me out of this place. All of a sudden, it's such a. I live in a city where most people can't even afford to pay rent. All of a sudden, and when I moved here in 2005, this place was so cheap to live, but at the same time, there was one of everything. There was like one sushi place. It was still a very small town. Uh-oh. Yeah, back to the walk. Live up in the mountains like your grandparents do? That sounds great. But yeah, the cost of living has skyrocketed here to the point where I I feel bad for anybody that has to like make it and as a 1 bedroom. You sick of this open air prison? I get it, Pinky. I mean, I don't live it, thank God, but I get it. I feel like I was part of one of the last generations that was still able to barely eke out the American dream. At the same time, too, though, like when I moved here, everyone, like things here still are just now costing what they cost from where I moved from. So like I lived in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and like a 1 bedroom there was $1,300 to $1,400 a month up there. And that's the case down here now, 20 years later. So it's like I feel like that is still the answer, is find places that are sorry. It still throws me off. I feel like I'm just a crazy person. Find places where no one is, but it's still a city. And that's like what Nashville was for me. It was a place that was still a city. I kind of just accepted the fact that I'm not looking for parties. I'm not looking to go out every night. I was just old and boring at that point. I was probably 30. So, I didn't need like the big city life. And honestly, Nashville likes to pretend it's a big city, and it's not. They're just charging big city prices. But there are towns and cities that are cheap. They may not be safe or classically considered safe, but like I know for a fact, like off the top of my head, West Memphis, Arkansas, you can still like buy a house there for 130 grand. And I guarantee you there's plenty of places like that, like secondary and tertiary cities with populations of around 100 to 500,000 people, that you can still find the American dream. Yeah, I consider the person that's going to change the United States or the culture of the United States is going to be the person that figures out how to get kids in their 20s owning single family homes. It's like if you're going to want a future that's thriving, you need to figure out how to get people in their 20s into single family homes. And that should be like the main goal. And if a government can't doing that, they are robbing you. They are straight up robbing you. Emco, have a great night. And that's just all there is to it. So like, that's why I say, as far as the American dream is concerned, is in my 20s, I was just barely able to own some property in my mid to late 20s. And everyone around me in my mid to late 20s was able to pull that off as well. And that's just where we were then in like 2000, 1999, 2000. And they have just slipped further and further away from that. And I don't care what party you're under. If your government is not actively working to get people into single family homes in their 20s so they can start families at their prime, when apparently people are supposed to start families, then they're not for the people at all. And neither party does that. Neither party is concerned about single family homes. And if they are concerned about single family homes, they're concerned about single family homes that cost $400,000 to $500,000, and that's just unsustainable. There is such a slim margin of the population that's going to be people under the age of 30 that can afford that. It is going to be the 0.0001% of people in the population that can afford that. And, you know, do I think this farm is worth 3 times what it was worth 2 years ago? No, it's not. It's not worth that. Zero government everywhere and people are chill about it. Yeah, I mean, I would, as long as the roads were still maintained and we still kept expanding mass transit so that we had a reasonable rail system, and then we also had sewers and running water. I don't see much else. I would be super chill about anything at that point. But yeah, it's like my neighbor's his kids moving back in, and he went to college and got a degree. I didn't ask what, but he went and got a degree in South Carolina, has a girlfriend. His girlfriend grew up there. There's nothing for him. He can't even get a job in South Carolina. And so it's just like, you got a college degree and you can't get a job in, like, I assume it's going to be in a relatively large city. Look at this poor guy. Watch him. Hopefully he sits down in the middle. You're good, buddy. Go for it. South Carolina is a beautiful state. I just, feel bad for anybody that lives there and is like young. Because I mean, think about it. Name the biggest city in South Carolina. Bet you can't. Like, that's always the thing about South Carolina. Oh, you see what I mean, it's sure it's a beautiful place, but it's like there's no big cities there. There's not really any opportunity. What There's that one, like, um there's that one, like, old Charleston there. That's it. And it's like literally $1 million to live there. Yeah, Murray sat down. Usually he ends up like with his butt half off. Yeah, it's like, here, let me look. Let me ask. Average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment in Charleston, South Carolina. An average 2-bedroom apartment, and this is on the low end, is $2,400 a month in Charleston, South Carolina. Nancy, love your comments and thank you for checking in. Here goes our old boy falling back asleep. And he's asleep. He literally just fell asleep in 3 seconds. I'm not saying, though, Pinky, don't go to Charleston and visit. You're going to have probably a really fun time. Like, I think Paula Dean's got a couple restaurants there. Yeah, these guys don't like storms either. If I start hearing thunder in the middle of the night, I'll come out and they'll all be at the gate, and I come out here and I lay down with them, and then they all fall asleep. Good old Paula Deen, LOL. Yep. We've got one of her restaurants here over at Opry Mills, a butter palace. It's funny, like Mama and Safira don't like it. Murray doesn't like it, and then but Bernie, he doesn't care. Bernie's kind of fearless. But hey, I've got to go out and do some more work and some more welding. It was great talking to everybody. I'm going to end up on this stream. Everything you had in Georgia was mid. Huh. Yeah, I mean, do your research. There's a lot of great places to eat in Georgia. In Charleston, South Carolina, that's a seafood town. That's a food town. Will, it was great having you around. I really appreciate it. And thanks a lot, guys. I was really feeling down and really kind of bummed out, especially after today's walk and just seeing how quickly Murray was slipping. And thanks, Will. Stacy was a special dog. She really was touched us a lot. Love you guys and thanks a lot. And maybe next week we'll do this. And probably in the next week or two we're going to work on getting another fifth. And so hopefully we'll have reasons to celebrate too. And but right now I'm just worried about the well-being of this one. Take care, y'all.